This is the third part of what began 3 days ago. And I'll link the first 2 parts below. We started with shame, which turned into pride. And now we're going to keep going. And I've been getting the word temperance. Which is about control in a way. Personally, I have a negative connotation with that word. But it isn't meant in a negative way. Not here, not now, not in this context. Measured. Restrained, that's more accurate. Parsimonious, also. I was getting that last night. There was a message coming through about the period of time between now and the next full moon in Pisces, and a theme of well, that word kept coming through, parsimonious. And I didn't really know what it meant, so I looked it up. And the sort of modern definition is about cheapness. But originally it was a positive thing, similar to temperance. And that's how it's coming across to me in this energy. About restraint. Restraint that comes from a place of self-knowledge and pride. Mostly, I want to talk about the dream that I had last night because it was very interesting. I have my book here to refer to if I forget details, but usually once I write it down, I remember. It begins in a world that is barren. That's the feeling. Barren, dry, repressed, oppressed. There's no color, there's no life, there's no joie de vivre, if you will. And it is ruled by some unseen, unnamed masculine entity. Throat. Wow, throat. And yeah, as I'm saying that, so this whole piece began with the this stream of energy infiltrating is the word, it seems, through the masculine aspect of the upper energy centers, crossing down to the feminine side of the lower energy centers and restricting the flow of life force, really, from their expression, energy in general, what have you. And it is affecting my throat right now as I speak about this dream. So there's this masculine presence that's ruling this land, and he has everything very tightly controlled tightly restricted. And I'm observing this all as though it is a movie, remote viewing. There is a crater. It's a raised crater, like a volcano. And there's something about this place that is very important. It's very tightly guarded. There's a whole extremely regulated system of multiple people and a lot of technology, a lot of resources going into guarding this area. And the focus is put on the head of the guard, the man who is in charge of the whole operation. The head. Interesting. And it's following him, and it's as though I'm seeing things from his perspective. He's been sleeping. And he has woken up, and he's walking down a hallway that leads down a set of metal stairs to where this crater is, and he knows. He can hear in the distance there is an alarm signal blaring, but everything is very calm and quiet. Other than that, there's nobody responding, and he knows. Something has happened and he's already lost. Everything is already lost. And he has... This is complicated because it's as though I'm seeing through his perspective, and he has a psychic insight. He has this flash, this vision of this man who is a known assassin, but he's not from the world that this is taking place in. Somehow he moves. He is not subject to the rules of travel of existence that the people here are. And this person has a type of power that the technology is somehow useless against. And he comes into all this knowledge kind of in one moment, in one flash. And then he enters the room where the crater is, or the area. It isn't a room exactly, it's not indoors, but there's so much sort of built infrastructure around it that it almost feels like a room. And there's this metal sort of scaffolding in front of the crater. And on it he sees a row of all different footwear. Boots, shoes. Most of them are working type of footwear, I would say, but for different things, different jobs. They belong to all the different people who were a part of this system. And they're all very neatly lined up. And again, he has this knowledge in the moment that those are all these people are implied dead, no longer there. He's the only one left, and this whole sequence coming up was pretty graphic in the dream. So I'm going to phrase it as tactfully as I can. But he has the knowledge that his shoes are the last. They will be added to that line. And they need to be for some reason. They're a key, and also I'm actually not sure what I can say on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna say it and see if I can, I guess. Because why not? His testicles, like that's just anatomy. And then he's standing there, and from behind him, this cross-dimensional assassin comes flying through the air. And he's laughing. He's laughing, and his feet are outstretched in a flying kick, and he kicks the guy to the ground. He's also known to be a musician. So he flying kicks he flying kicks this guy to the ground. And I'm laughing because of how absurd it sounds, but it was pretty strange in the dream, actually eerie, I would say, because I was understanding it all from the perspective of the one who knew that he was about to be killed. But the man who's doing it is this sort of larger than life cartoonish figure almost. And he's laughing the entire time. And he takes off his boots. And then he turns back to him and he pulls out a long, thin knife. And he says, "Now give me your pieces." And he's still laughing. And the head of the guard begins to scream and struggle. As he reaches into his pants and cuts off the pieces. And that was very visceral in the dream. to where I actually had a reflexive reaction. I could feel the eye that I was observing this picture through turning, like flinching almost, trying to look away, but not really being allowed to look away, if that makes sense. And he adds everything to the line of boots on the scaffolding. And then the crater, well, everything begins to shake, vibrate. The ground, the air, the sky, everything. And the crater fills with this bubbling gold oil. And as it's vibrating, it is generating this wave out from it, and it's this wave of green, lush, living things. And suddenly the whole world, it's as though a breath has been breathed into it, and the whole thing comes alive, and there's color in everything, and the houses all shift. And now I'm looking from above, observing the colors shift, the houses change. They become all brightly colored and well made of some kind of earthen material. And the whole place is totally changed and rejuvenated. And the assassin he's sort of floating in some pocket that's not quite in the world, not quite out of it. And he's got his head thrown back, and he's quiet. His eyes are closed, and he has a look of bliss on his face, and he's making some kind of complex electronic music. And then it changes. And suddenly I am actually in the dream. And I'm on a date. And I'm with this man who has a very sturdy, strong feeling to him, and he feels real in a way that not everybody feels, dreaming or waking. We're not talking too much. We're in some sort of close, dimly lit bar type space, watering hole, if you will. And we're drinking wine. And it's this very dark, rich, sweet wine. And I don't drink alcohol. But I'm making an exception. And it isn't, there's no feeling of intoxication. But there's a very intimate feeling between us. And everything is happening non-verbally. There's a tension in the air, a pleasant tension. And then he begins playing some sort of game on his phone at one point. And I make a comment that I can't quite remember about gambling. Something about how playing that game is like gambling. And he sort of looks up very sharply. Like I've called him on something that he knows is true. Then it changes and we are in a room with a mother. Someone who in the dream is my mother. And she's holding a very small clay urn in her hands. Very small, and she's made it. And she's painting it with blue paint. And she's painting a very intricate pattern on it that looks like the map of a city. And the man is wearing a shirt that has the same pattern on it. This blue pattern of a city. And there's one red line on the left side of his chest over his heart. And I've got my hand on his chest, and this line, even though it's in the fabric, it's moving. It's almost trickling like water, but it isn't getting much larger. But it's alive, it's moving, and I can feel his heart beating, and that it is moving in the same rhythm as his heart. and the air is sort of getting thicker. And he seems to be in some kind of trance, and he's staring at this clay urn and in the mother's hands. And he says, his eyes become very wide, and it's as though the words are coming out of some very deep place. And he says, "You need me." And he's saying it not in a way as though he is expressing a power dynamic between them, but saying it in a way as though he's having a realization. A sense of purpose, a sense of duty. That he didn't realize he had. Then it changes again. And there's a sense that our relationship has progressed through time. And we're sitting at a table. And there is another young woman across from us. And her name is Sky. And that's never said, I just know it. And she has a feeling of being very closed into herself in some way. And I can sense a discomfort coming from her directed towards me. A discomfort at my presence, being there, being who I am, being what I am. The size of my presence, the quality of it. And I can feel that there is a story, a pattern existing that could very easily take place in between us, coming from insecurity. And I'm making the intentional choice to not feed into it, this is all happening internally. To move my mind away from that pattern, to not engage with the thoughts that are a match for her thoughts or her feeling state, that would have me project negativity towards her in response. And then there's sort of a flash that I see in the air, a vision of her in a different room, sort of very tentatively starting to play the drums. And then it's back to the table, and this man is there, and all of his attention is fully focused on me. And we're drinking wine again. And the wine spills on the table, and it runs across, and it soaks into the white shirt that I'm wearing. And I just start laughing, and I say, "That's okay, I'll just dye the whole thing purple." And when I say that, there's something about that reaction that from him, there's this, he doesn't say anything, but there's this like pulse of really strong, warm, loving energy. And it's just all kind of beaming towards me. Being pulled back to the shirt, the red line on the shirt. That's a detail that's very interesting, because in the first part of this series, I spoke about a different dream. Where I was seeing a map of a city from above, and I was seeing the bus that I was on, the route that it was going to be taking in the future. I was seeing it as this trickling red line that looked very alive, and it was the same, it looked the same as this line on his shirt above his heart, woven into the fabric above his heart line. And so then there's the whole sequence at the table, and then it shifts again. And now I'm no longer physically in it, but I'm remote viewing, and the man is in a garden. He's in a flower garden with two other men. One of them is older and grayer. He has a gray quality to his aura, and he's smoking cigarettes. He's sitting in a chair smoking cigarettes. And the other man is the assassin from the very first part. And they're all there, and they have a very easy manner together, and it seems like they're partners in something. And the garden is all of these huge flowers on individual stalks. And they're all different shades of this really rich gold color. Pardon me. I need to stop putting this mic over my heart because I've realized that I reflexively touch my heart a lot, the area of my chest where the heart is, and I keep touching the mic. So they're sitting together, the three of them. Well, actually, the one that I'm connected to is standing. He's standing among the flowers. The other two are sitting. And they're talking about me. And our relationship. And I'm noticing that the man he's wearing darker clothes than before. And there's something kind of different about him while he is around these other people. He's changed, his energy is different. But he still has that solid, real feeling. It's very fixed energy is what it is. And there is a implication, a knowing that I have that we haven't seen or spoken to each other in some number of days, and that's kind of a normal thing. And I feel quite comfortable with it, that we're either present together or we're not. And that becomes the topic of conversation. And as if he's sharing my mind, the assassin says, "You like it that way, don't you?" And then the other man who I'm connected to, he doesn't say anything, he just kind of smiles and nods. And the flowers, I forgot to mention, the flowers are these big single-stalked flowers. They have these huge stamens like plumes they're larger than the petals themselves. Very showy. And then there is a they're talking about how I'm going to be arriving. I'm going to be coming to meet these other two, who I haven't technically met, even though at this point I feel that I know this assassin character pretty well. And there's a feeling that this is an important moment for some reason. There is a symbolic importance. And the assassin he gets up and he starts picking flowers to make a bouquet to greet me. And he has this very whimsical quality to him. If the other man is fixed, he's mutable. And he's picking these flowers, but he's only picking the stamens, these big plumy stamens. And it's interesting to me because that's the reproductive part of the flower. And the beginning sequence was focused on also the reproductive part of the reproductive part. But in a very different way. And he picks a handful of ones that are this pale, yellowy gold. And he also picks a handful of ones that are a very dark, rich orange gold. And he's laying them out, kind of arranging them. And the man sitting down smoking, who has been he's just sort of been there. He hasn't really been in the center. He says, "Where are the dark ones? You need purple ones." And he goes, "Oh man, you're right. How could I forget?" And then he walks off through the garden looking for the third color of flower. And it's a very large garden, and he's walking through, and he can't find any, and he gets to a section where it's kind of dead looking. There are no blooms. And then suddenly I'm there with him. And he doesn't seem at all surprised by my being there, as though he was expecting it. And I have this flash, this image in my mind, as though I'm seeing into the past, and I can see all of these flowers that are this very dark, reddish, purplish reddish, but with still this gold metallic quality to them. And I'm wondering where they've all gone. And again, as though sharing my mind, he says, they're saffron flowers, and each one only blooms once. These ones have all passed. And then he's holding out a bulb to me, and it's a white bulb. And it looks kind of like garlic. He's holding it out in the palm of his hand, and he says, grow your own. And that was it. I woke up. Now, what does all of that have to do with temperance? A squirrel just ran by the fence outside this window very fast. Maybe you heard the scuttling of feet. It's very focused on this masculine energy, clearly, and the transformation taking place there on a range of levels, because we had quite a few different archetypes being represented. This is also the type of dream that I would say, for me, from my experience, a lot of different things happening, a lot of different layers. I'm not expecting to understand all of it right now. Some of it isn't meant to be interpreted. Some of it is just meant to sit there. But the wine is interesting. In connection to the theme of temperance and the game that he was playing, which is, I would say, a vice, the way that I see most people engage with phone games. Maybe it was meant, even I mentioned gambling, maybe it was meant to represent, there's a lot of gambling that happens on phones these days, like literally. But it was sort of said in a figurative way, the way it was meant in a dream. But it is harvesting attention either way. And it's representing a disconnection. From the immediate reality. And if this man is kind of representing the active physical force, The right hand. The day-to-day actions. And the part that has this desire to taste and experience, but that is being distracted by quick fixes, I'm hearing. And then that moment with the mother. Very interesting. The urn is death. It holds ashes. Ashes. A memorial for something past. With the map of the city on it. A city that is mirrored on him, that his heart is beating in time with, and he's having this realization that he is needed by this mother. The creator of the city. The creator of him. She needs him. He has a purpose. There is a point to his existence, there is a pattern to his existence, and it is written. It is woven. It is painted on clay. Wow, having trouble getting the consistency right for this paint. But that's always the case with these metallics. They are tricky, finicky. It's also an interesting theme that seems to be happening lately with all of this remote viewing happening in the dreams and perspective changes. Which I know is connected to all the Aquarius energy right now. And the shifts that are happening with that, in that. But I'm not actually sure I've ever had a dream before quite where there was quite this much telepathic communication happening, and like shifts where I'm seeing past, future, different dimension things so much. It has happened before, but it was really highlighted in this one. And that was highlighted in the last dream I talked about as well. And I've been getting messages about it, that it's just happening more. And it all started from shame. Because all beings want to feel proud of what they are, of who they are. They want to feel purposefully useful, to have a sense of place in their own existence. And it is a lack of that feeling a lack of inherent perceived value, worth, that leads, that drives behavior and actions which create more and more feelings of shame, a sense of shame. And then to move away from that feeling of shame, there are more actions and it becomes continuous, self-fulfilling, self-feeding. I would hazard a guess that there are many people right now dealing with a whole range of themes to do with vices of all kinds, whatever that looks like, in subtle ways and not subtle ways. And the root of where that actually comes from and that for humanity, to reach any true state of ecosystem consciousness where it is acting as the connected living organism that it is, which it already, because it is that, and it already is an ecosystem, but it isn't a healthy one. So for it to while it is progressing in that direction, it is having to look at these self-destructive, shame-driven choices, actions, behaviors, patterns. And for humans on an individual level to realize that they are needed. That this greater mother this greater creator needs this small, minuscule hands and feet. To be playing their parts. Whatever fucking weird way that looks like. Well, there we have it. Nope. Nope. More. This paintbrush is falling apart in my hand. This paintbrush is falling apart in my hand. A soldier isn't necessarily they are recruited, they are enlisted, they are drafted. But wait a second. The paintbrush is the limb, the appendage, the body, the person on the ground. They have to be in good working order. They have to be taken care of. There is within this masculine archetype, that push how do I say it's the place that desire comes from, and in its desire it grips too hard. Restraint, temperance. It allows for better maneuvering, it allows for better flow. Passion. That is measured. Actionable. It becomes actionable because it isn't acted on immediately. It's rhythmic. It's felt. And overindulgence usually comes from shame. Overworking also comes from shame. Same wound, different expression. There. Okay. Thank you for sharing this with me. Bye for now.